everybody, Courtney here, Smitty's Fly Box, going over the intermediate fly for our month of March, and it is going to be a biot emerger, kind of a spin-off of John Barr's bar emerger. Super effective fly, especially this time of year when you start seeing those baetis or BWOs coming off. So started my thread here on my hook, just a little bit up above the halfway point. First thing we're going to tie in is our tail, which is going to be brown strung hackle. So I'll just clip off a clump of those fibers. We're going to tie those in. I'm not going to worry about the measurement on this because we're going to trim the tail down flush, is kind of how the bar emerger is done as well. So I just will start my thread there, wrapping over those barbs and come down into the bend slightly. And when I trim this tail, I'm just going to trim all those tips flush, and I like them to be about a little less than half what the hook is in length. And then I'll take my thread and just cover up all that butt section there of those fibers. I'll bring my thread back to my tie-in point to add my body, which here I'm going to be using turkey biots. You can use goose biots as well. And you'll see I'm using that flatter side, or the side that's laying down on the turkey quill. And that just kind of gives you a little stiffer, better biot there. You can use both sides of that feather though. And on this one, I'm going to be tying this biot with the curve facing up. So if you look at it, the biot, if the curve is facing up, then you'll get a little ridge on it, which I kind of want on this one as a little BWO emerger. If you were to turn that biot over, it would give you a smooth body. So with working with biots, especially these turkey ones, they're pretty brittle, so you just want to be careful with them. Just tie it in by the tip, and I'll just start to wrap. You could do this with hackle pliers, which would probably make this 10 times easier, but for those who don't have it, what I do is I just push my non-tying finger against the back of it on each wrap, so I don't, if I ever slip that biot out of my hand, I've got a hold of it with my other finger there. So just one little trick to try to keep those managed and not frustrate you as you wrap these. Turkey biots are also a little bit longer of a feather too, so kind of helps to use those. Once I get up here just to about where I'm going to tie in my thorax, I'll tie that turkey biot down. And then we'll go ahead and just trim that out. So you see I've got a nice little segmentation there in the ridges of that turkey biot. I think that just makes a nice little body on it. And then we'll just cover up that butt section there of the biot. And then next we're going to tie in our wing case here. So this is just gray strung hackle. And I'm going to tie in a clump of about a dozen to 14, somewhere around there. I don't think you need to count them all out, but just a clump that's going to cover up the top of that thorax. And I'll tie those in right on top of the hook shank. It's important here that you don't let them slip over to the side, because then you'll have some hanging over on the side of your dubbing when we add that in. So next we'll just add our dubbing for our thorax. Here again, you don't need to go really heavy on the dubbing. You just need to have a little pinch of it just to build up a little tiny ball for our thorax. And we'll roll that on nice and tight and just build up a little bit of a head here. And you don't need to use a bead on this. You can. It kind of helps control your dubbing if you have a hard time with that slipping off the front. But if you leave yourself enough room, you'll be able to have a little bit of a gap there right behind your eye. Then we'll pull those hackle fibers over, and if you can kind of see in the video here, I pull it over and I kind of let them stretch out over that ball, so it kind of spreads them out evenly over the top. So that's kind of what you want. You want a full coverage just over the top half of the ball of dubbing there. And then tie those down nice and tight, and then we'll just split these fibers evenly. So you should have about 6 or 7 on each side. And I start with the far side, pull those back, tie them down, and then we'll bring the near side to me. And just anchor those down. And so while you're doing this, you're actually creating your little thread head there, so it creates a nice little profile on this fly, and you can go ahead and whip finish, and then we'll trim our legs, and then this fly is done. So you can do this in a bunch of different variations that we sent you in the box. You have the biots, you've got dubbing, you can do a traditional bars emerger, and then you've also got beads. So we'll just trim these legs down. I like them to be fairly short, just pretty much even with the thorax. and this guy's ready to fish. So let us know how you guys do with it. If you have any questions about it, go ahead and message us and let us know how it works for you. Thanks, guys.